your kind remarks. And thank you for inviting me to Florida. I almost didn't make it. I woke up yesterday and checked the weather, and I may have misread it, but it looked like there was a hurricane coming, and so I called Doug Gutzlow, and I said, Doug, I'm not coming to Florida. He said, what's wrong? I said, I'm suffering from anal glaucoma. I mean, I don't like hurricanes. I don't like any natural disasters. I was looking for a pretty good excuse, and I thought suffering from anal glaucoma was a good one. He said, what's that? He said, I never heard of anal glaucoma. I said, Doug, I just cannot see my ass being there. When I got on the plane, came down to Orlando, and you live in a beautiful part of the world. I especially appreciate Mark Cross and the Campaign for Liberty sponsoring the event tonight, and John Holman and the Florida Taxpayers Union for being hospitable and supporting this gathering tonight. It's gatherings like this that inspire us, and gives us an opportunity to see who else we're allied with. It inspires us to maybe dig a little deeper and know that we're not alone, that we, even though small, speak for a lot of Americans who are deeply concerned with the drift that this country has taken toward what we don't like and what we don't want, and what is good for America. I like what your Senator Baker and Representative Placken are doing on those sovereign amendments. We have doing the same thing in Arizona. We recognize, and somebody has to recognize, that our federal government has taken over and is usurping all of our rights and our powers. And as a result, it's costing us more than it should. It's taken away from the responsibility of local governments to respond to local needs. And it is time to stand up and fight for what is rightfully ours, and for which was set forth in the Constitution and in the Declaration of Independence. So I commend these two and the allies that you are getting together in support of this. We have won the medical referendum that allows individuals to not comply with the federal mandate if they don't want to. We had it on the ballot 2 years or a year ago, 2008, and it failed. But this time I think we've ironed out some of the difficulties, and it stands a good chance. I want to thank Doug for his kindness to me and his hospitality. You've been very kind. I like your energy, sir. I like your enthusiasm, and it's your kind of leadership that keeps this kind of organization and this kind of effort moving forward. We are, I think, in the middle of a new revolution, if you may, a revolution of ideas. It is a revolution and a fight between the left and the right. The John Maynard teens of economics and the Chicago School of Milton Friedman. These two great ideas are in conflict today, have been in conflict all along. And unfortunately, we don't listen and we don't learn from history about what works and what doesn't work. What this country was really established for and on behalf of. Our country was established on the concept of freedom. And this freedom was given by God. And we, as a people, created a government to protect those God-given freedoms. And that effort is always under work. It is always under construction. And we should never let our guard down. Unfortunately, through history, we watched nations decline when they stopped doing the things that made them successful. They stopped doing the things that got them to the top. Stopped doing the things that made them a wonderful, great nation of free people. and an envy to the world. If we are so bad, as our liberal friends want to portray us, why are all the citizens of the world envious of America and of the United States, and so many are trying to get here? I think early in America's, early in my family's history, my family came in over from Europe, escaping tyranny, wanting and searching for freedom. They came here working hard to create wealth and not redistribute it. Charity came from the heart and not from a government program. We ran our businesses without a multitude of alphabets to comply with government regulations. Hard work was rewarded with satisfaction and pride, and instead of feeling entitled to things, we felt blessed that we were free. During the early days of this country, there were extensive debates over the proper role of government. And there were those such as Hamilton, who felt that the centralization of power was appropriate. And then on the other side, we had Jefferson and Madison, who felt that reduced power in the central government was better, that power to the states was a far better approach to government than those advocated by Hamilton. And after all, we came from England and escaped from England, declared our independence from England for that very reason. This debate raged on for many, many years, and finally was settled with a compromise. Further attempts to limit the potential abuse by the federal government was put into place with the 10th Amendment. Somehow, over time, we have watched and forgotten this great debate that took place that established our Constitution and the separation of powers and the separation of state and federal. We have, with time, eroded the states' rights, infringed on our federal system, and placed most all powers back in the hands of a central government. We have ceased to be a federal constitutional republic. These days, the pendulum of federalism has swung way out of proportion, and it's time to bring it back. Such programs as No Child Left Behind, clean air and clean water, Medicare, transportation, highway safety, are all great sounding programs and things that we all need and want and feel that we should put into place. But the price we pay for that kind of program at the federal level is one that is destroying the freedoms that we enjoy. By opting into these different programs, Arizona, for instance, surrenders control over state funds to Washington. Because federal funds must be matched by the state funds, those monies are not controlled by the state legislator anymore. To do this today, the state legislature of Arizona, and I suspect Florida, really only controls about 25% of the revenue coming from the